One day you will understand.
If you don't believe in the future he's seeing, there's no room for you in our All Elite Wrestling.
The more I think about it, Orange Cassidy might have to get taken off the board altogether. I need to set an example. I need to make an example out of Orange Cassidy. So what I would do is show all of them.
What a struggle it will be for control of...
Is this damn thing on? What's up, y'all? RPG Jock here, aka Kale's in the house. It's the weekend, and you know what that means. Another weekend of wrestling goodness. We got both TNA and WWE preparing for their big PLEs and PPVs and specials that's happening next weekend. We got MLW getting ready to put on their little special on YouTube. Interestingly, on Saturday night, I'm not sure why, but hey, do what you gotta do. And in the States, we're getting ready for T-Day, Turkey Day, if you didn't know, or Thanksgiving. There's a lot to be thankful, especially in wrestling, and a lot not to be thankful and everything else. And of course, AEW has got a pay-per-view.
Full Gear will be for Full Gear. This ahead of Full Gear this Saturday night live on pay-per-view.
All right, now at the time of this video, which is a Friday, which I have delayed in recording for 2 days because I wanted to make sure, you know who, TK gets all his little matches for the main card out. Not gonna worry about what the 0 hour is gonna be about because you know what? Nothing against 0 hour, nothing against the people who are gonna be on there, especially that one match. Not my generation, I'll let you guys enjoy that one. Not even gonna mention it. But before we dive into
Full Gear,
I just have to say thank you to all you guys who've been watching, subscribing, and supporting me on this way. Please, of course, like and subscribe if you haven't already, and God bless. Well, let's get to it. Now, I won't lie. AEW Full Gear 2024, since WrestleDream, TK and the crew at AEW has had 5 weeks to prepare for this. Did they do a great job for this pay-per-view? I mean, without a doubt, straight up, as wrestlers and wrestling matches, they have done a great job, once again, putting together a good card. Plain and simple, without a doubt. These are probably the best athletes and best wrestlers out today, and they are wrestling in some interesting matches. But let's be honest, the build-up has been lackluster. I don't fault anybody I don't fault RJ, Will Washington. I don't fault any of the creative. And honestly, people was like, Jimmy Jacobs, he's gone. Honestly, I feel like maybe that is a loss because the rest and the blame and all his troubles is laid on the leader. And the leader is TK. He's the leader of this company. He's the one who's running it. And all the missteps and all the lackluster build to this pay-per-view is resting all in his head. So either decide to hand the reins over to somebody else who can handle it, or you're going to keep learning this hard lesson each and every pay-per-view until you can get it right. I don't understand it myself. You had 5 weeks. 5 weeks. There was no special contracts that you had to get signed, no TV deals you had to deal with, no special events on TV that you had to plan for before you got to the pay-per-view. This was literally WrestleDream to Full Gear. 5 weeks build. And I don't know how, I don't know why, but you could tell that the creative just were working barely week to week on trying to come up with ways to build this pay-per-view. That being said, we're not going to complain too much about it. We're just going to get into the matches. That's what I'm here about. And I'm going to start off with the first match. Hangman Adam Page versus Switchblade Jay White.
Hangman and the Switchblade.
Hangman! You can cover up your shortcomings with all the blood, barbed wire, and fire as you please. It will not change the fact I will always have your number.
Jay White has always been the senior to Hangman Adam Page. Until earlier this year, Jay White had beaten Hangman Adam Page every time they'd faced off one-on-one.
I'm going to give you one more chance at redemption.
2024 still has some time left for the Switchblade to share the spotlight with Hangman once more.
There is no such thing as redemption.
Jay White, do you know who the hell I am? I am the Hangman. I am the man. They named this whole godforsaken pay-per-view after me.
And Jay White returned from injury. He wanted to right some wrongs, and that wrong started with Hangman Adam Page. It seems like Hangman just can't let that go.
At Full Gear, the Hangman breathes with the Switchblade once more.
I will stand over you, my hand raised, and leave you like I have left so many others hurt with less than you had before.
Now, technically, this is the third match, the blow-off match, even though like the first match didn't happen in the tournament, which Paige took. The second match happened at WrestleDream, which White took. Now we're down to the third one. And honestly, because there's smoke, there's the Hangman, because he's getting fired up. I had to throw that out there just in case somebody looking and want to give that to Hangman. So go ahead and use that as a tagline, because you guys gotta have to learn to promote yourselves, sell yourselves. I know you don't like to be that cheese, but I know you're the alternative. But dude, y'all need to all build yourselves, and you don't build yourselves unless you get the crowd into it, and you can't get the crowd into it unless you give them something to latch onto. Give them that kind of stuff to latch onto, and maybe you can build your character with them. That being said, this has been a very interesting build-up, including last week's tag team match, a large pay-per-view card. Everything is getting kind of lost in the shuffle as usual, but hopefully this is the blow-off match. This is the one that's gonna kind of give them that final resolution, and they kind of drift off into their own thing. I imagine that eventually it's gonna be Jay White going after Christian, and who knows where Paige is going to end up. But I have to give it to Paige. He will go ahead and take this match and hopefully climb up to becoming that superstar they're looking for in the AEW. And I don't think it's going to be too much if White takes this loss, because by hook or by crook, he's going to continue on. And I think there is going to be a future with Jay White in this company. But we'll see. But yes, I give it to Hangman Adam Page. Take the victory. Next up, match number 2 for the championship. Jack Perry versus Danny Garcia.
I'm sick of entitled pieces of trash like you thinking they can walk around here doing whatever they want. You think you're so special? You think you're so special, don't you?
Jack Perry's not a man. Jack no longer represents what AEW is.
He used to dance for me too. I have already fought for everything that you think you're fighting for now. And you've seen just as well as I have the kind of person who succeeds here.
I will never be anything like you. But you know what I will be? TNT champion.
You can have the match at Full Gear, but you're not ready.
So, Nepo Baby, 90210 Estranged Child Man, Jack Perry, yes, I call it right now, even though starting to doubt it simply because the way that Danny has been being booked for the last 2 weeks. I mean, it's at a point where I feel like, let's be honest, Danny has been bullying the Nepo Baby. Why they booking it this way? Maybe it's that because they're trying to build him strongly so that when Nepo Baby takes it and wins, which starting to think that's probably the case, there's still a build-up to continue on into World's End. Not sure how much I'm wanna be looking forward to that match or ready to overlook this match, but I guess we'll have to wait and see how well they actually wrestle in the ring together. But yes, I think that Nepo Baby is holding on to his TV title, and it looks like Danny is gonna have to hold off until December before he gets his Christmas present, the television championship. Yeah, I'm not calling it the TNT or the TBS championships anymore. It's so stupid that they call them that. They need to just go ahead and name them either the media championships or the TV championships. I mean, honestly, how is it going to look when you have Fox Mexico talking about the TBS champion kissing ass to Warner Brothers Discovery? They made you hold out. Sorry, they don't need to have names on your titles. Match number 3, World Tag Team titles. Private Party versus House of Black versus The Acclaim versus The Outrunners. Whew, that's a lot, bro. This could be the underdog match of the night. So overbooked, this could be the worst match of the night also because of it's been overbooked. I mean, let's examine it. Private Party, who just won those belts little on about 4 weeks ago against the Young Nags.
Wait a second! Reverse Hurricane Zay and Quinn firing each other up! Let's go, boys! Here it comes! For that chin! Yes! 1, 2, 3!
I mean, they haven't defended them. They barely wrestled. Only times you ever seen them is when they come out to watch the other contenders qualify for the match, this match. And so I'm a little hesitant of how are we prepping for them. You think that we could have threw a Rampage, a 4-man match, one member of each of the teams in the ring against each other just to get a taste. But nope, we didn't do that. So it is what it is. But yes, we have Private Party who just won those titles. Haven't really defended them, but they're going to go ahead and try to do something. Then you have one of the teams that's more than likely heading for the big breakup.
I'm here with the Acclaimed. Guys, you have a huge opportunity tonight in the Full Gear 4-way contenders match. But where is Billy Gunn?
The more important question, Lexi, is where are our heads at going into this contenders match? And I gotta tell you, the best wrestler alive is feeling real confident going into tonight's match.
To answer your question, Lexi, Billy will be here. And what I think he was trying to say is that the Acclaimed, we feel great tonight because we are just one win away from entering that four-way match at Full Gear, where we will become the two-time AEW Tag Team Champions in the Scissor King's home state of New Jersey. And when we win, we will celebrate, we will scissor. Why? Because everyone loves the Acclaimed. Ain't that right, Lexi?
Just wanted to wish you good luck tonight. Want to see you do well. We handled our business, so you handle yours. Max, use your size, use your strength. Remember, big opportunity. Don't blow it.
They've been teasing it.
Removed. He'll make a tag. Roosh is down and out on the floor. Pick up.
There it is.
Mic drop. Cover by both. 1, 2, 3. Once they got Roosh on the floor, they get the win. And now we are set for Full Gear as Billy Gunn takes a look at his troops. It will be private party. The Kings of the Black Crown, the Outrunners, and now the Acclaim.
They've been teasing it for the last 6 months, and I wish they'd get on with it. But let's see if they actually move something with it, because one of the things is that the pacing AEW storylines has been a problem. Either they're going way too fast or they go way too slow. They got to find the right pacing for these things. And another team that's being pushed simply because of the Nostalgia Act, who honestly I've watched, and I don't think they're TV ready yet, but they seem like they're going to push them. It's getting the title shot, but we'll see how well they do when they got to go in the ring with 3 other tag teams and be able to perform at the level they need to one day hold them titles. Then we got the last team, who honestly I believe should have the titles in the first place. I feel like they've been teasing it. They stop and start. They get distracted with trios championship. But these guys right here, they should be the ones to hold the titles. But let's be honest, there's still a whole different thing that they got to build up with them, and I don't think they're gonna take the titles. Yes, I think in the end, Private Party, who just won those titles, are just gonna hold on to them for just 1 more month before they probably drop them at World's End. Number 4, for the women's TV title, it's Mercedes Moné with, I guess, Camille versus Chris Statlander. Who knows if Sheeta gets involved with this or not, but we'll see.
W is where the money resides. What does it mean to be the CEO over the entire AEW women's division?
Perfect performance from the CEO.
More like, what does it taste like?
That's not just a work of art, that's a money.
It tastes like money. And it feels so good to have all this power.
Chris Statlander storming down the ramp.
You better watch, bitch. She quite literally is afraid of competition. When I was the TBS champion, I welcome challengers defending that TBS title, losing it without ever getting pinned for it. Maybe she knows that there's people out there that are better than her.
Statlander's done it! No one had defeated Camille before in AEW.
Just watching her from the sideline, I know there's something special about her, but I will always find a way to win.
When you want something done right, you do it yourself.
Mercedes, you try to hit me with a car.
Whoa, whoa! That wasn't my plan to hurt you. I do everything in the ring.
Full Gear, your TBS championship will be on the line against Chris Statlander.
No.
Has she ever faced a challenger with the strength of Chris Statlander? I'm not sure.
Everything that she's tried hasn't worked. You may think you're trying to assert your power, but I think that you're desperate.
You're the desperate one. You should be thanking me for the spotlight.
You're afraid because you know that I'm locked in.
Chris Statlander, there is a price to pay when you mess with Mercedes Moné.
Then at Full Gear, I'll bring my checkbook.
Here we are where this weird build for this whole thing is again just totally like, what are you supposed to do? Like, you have a quickly turned babyface Chris Statlander, which I totally disagree because everybody felt there was a great momentum with Chris being a heel, and suddenly you're gonna babyface her and even put her back in that babyface clothes and everything. I mean, I don't know whose decision was that. You could have left her as a heel and just been double heeled. I'd rather have seen that versus doing this whole face thing that you guys are pushing for. But nonetheless, even Chris doesn't understand it herself.
Bruce
is a fan favorite.
Fan favorite, very much so.
And speaking of which,
yes,
so are you again.
Yay!
Kind of. I think people are still confused about me, and I'm also confused about myself.
And so I don't understand why they decided to do it. But nonetheless, now you got Mercedes Moné with the Brickhouse Camille, who depends on who you talk to, but mostly everybody's agreed the Brickhouse has taken a huge step back. And if they're rushing to what we all believe is Camille eventually turning on Mercedes and going after her, this has been lackluster to say. Again, let's go back to pacing. You can't just put them together back in what it was like before All In. I can't even remember when they got back together. I think it was All In, and you take them apart now at Full Gear. You didn't build up a relationship with them. You didn't build up a honest feeling of this. And the way you book Camille and how she's been dealing with Mercedes is just no. But I guess we'll have to wait and see. But as for a match itself, I'm generally hopeful, though Mercedes has not been the best. I'm sorry. I know that's probably a mean thing to say and it's piling on, but let's be honest, guys. Mercedes this has not been the best first year for her, and I imagine it's not going to get us that better. Camille will either get involved and accidentally cost the match or what, but honestly, I believe Mercedes is going to retain because it's setting up for Camille versus Moné. Guess we'll wait and see how that turns out. Number 5, MJF versus Roddy Strong. This is the match that has the most history, but get the why are they doing this of the night award. And I can see sort of it of how they wanted to have a match like this. First of all, you got MJF, who's probably one of the biggest stars of the company, and he should be, featured, especially when you're trying to get the numbers back up, all of them. But at the same time, if MJF is not ready to sell these matches, he shouldn't be doing it. You needed him on TVT and not just tape segments where you can plug in to get him say, oh yeah, MJF is working stuff from remote. I mean, he hasn't been in a wrestling ring since All Out, and it's now almost 8 weeks of him shooting in Hollywood and on his movie and not in the wrestling ring. So how well is he going to be able to perform against Roddy Strong, who is one of the best wrestlers pound for pound? I mean, I really believe that Roddy is the master of the backbreaker, and he is going to show up and show out like he should. And I'm just wondering if will MJF be able to do so also. But I guess we'll wait and see. But the storyline build up, with the returning of Adam Cole, baby, it just fell flat, and it's still falling flat. There's been so many things. I felt like they rushed Adam Cole back to this great build to have him show up at WrestleDream just to be the foil of MJF, who's the foil of Danny Garcia, who was the foil of Nepo Baby Perry. Why though? Why didn't we just do Roddy Strong coming in and build a feud with MJF? What's this distraction with Adam Cole? Adam Cole could have actually held off and came and debuted at this pay-per-view, right? And then they could have built the story just him and MJF. Unless there's something else that's going to go on with this storyline with Roddy Strong and Adam Cole, I think this kind of and that's why I go where creative had time to figure this out. TK had time to figure this out, and he just threw random stuff out there, and I think it really hurt this match. I think it really hurt the whole storyline, and I mean, honestly, I thought we had this storyline killed, but I guess not, so we're going to continue on, but it really did kill the storyline, and I hope they can figure out a way of getting back on track with it. I mean, these guys all have great potential, and they have great, abilities, but one, they don't sell themselves very well. I mean, and those who do.
Maxwell Jacob Freeman wanting no part.
It's hard to sell yourselves when you have so many people on one card, one pay-per-view, one show. And especially when you have 2 shows that you guys could really use the second show as what it needs to be. But again, hopefully that'll all settle out in 2025. A lot of changes are coming, and I'm hoping that they can use those changes to their benefit. But yes, I think that in the end, MJF will, again, reign victory. I mean, he just lost Will Ospreay back in All In and then turn around and start losing matches. So I think as much as Roddy Strong is going to show up and show out, it's going to be MJF in some dubious way winning. I even heard that the streets are talking about that maybe Wardlow was going to come and maybe continue their relationship. We'll see. Number 6, which is technically not a match, but a women's title champagne celebration with Mariah May and Mina Shirakawa. Yes, the boobies are gonna be flopping in this one. I feel like that it's not supposed to be this is supposed to be a piss break match, but let's or segment or whatever you want to call it. Obviously, your girl Toni Storm this week, she decided to call her retirement, which, as we know, AEW is not very good at doing it like subtle drop. Like if Toni was supposed to do the whole retirement thing, it should have been a couple of weeks ago. I don't know why she waited until this week to do it, or AEW waited to do that storyline this week to do it. But it's so obvious that Toni Storm will make her return during this whole mess at the pay-per-view. I think Mina and Mariah are definitely getting ready to have a showdown. We'll see, but I think that was going to be what's going to happen is Tony's going to come back and we're going to kick off that whole thing again. Number 7, Kyle Fletcher versus Will Ospreay.
It's always been, but this man right here is tough to deal with. Once the bell rings and you get between the ropes.
Ospreay.
And think about Will Ospreay, who's fighting a battle so personal, so close to home for him that there's no way he could focus on Jon Moxley without dealing with Kyle Fletcher and his stinging betrayal.
Why? Kyle, why?
Will Ospreay is somebody that opened his home to Kyle Fletcher, and I don't know what exactly is going through Kyle Fletcher's mind to see the positive things that Will Ospreay's done for him as negatives, but I am almost certain it has something to do with Don Callis.
I can be nothing like you.
You should have stayed dead. You never should have come back to AEW. Oh my God, son, you've bitten off more than you can chew. This Saturday is the biggest moment of your life. This Saturday is just Saturday for me. Because I put on my crime fighting pants and I go to work once again. Bruv, there is no hesitation anymore.
Here's some real talk facts, y'all. I'm pretty sure this will go before one of the women's segments, as they love to do that and then put a women's segment as the piss break. Which is sad for the women, but that's usually how it works. And I also know that this is honestly one of my most anticipated matches of the night. If I had to choose one of the matches that I'm like, I can't wait to watch them wrestle, this is one of them. Because Will Ospreay, he has had yet to have a bad match on a pay-per-view. So much so that I've seen every pay-per-view except for one, and that's Forbidden Door, which I felt was a distraction and a detriment to the run-up for All In. So I refused to get that one, only watch it, saw highlights of it, and I feel like I missed a great match between him and Swerve Strickland. So I'm actually debating whether or not I should just buy that one, but I guess we'll wait and see, because I can always go back and watch it, but I digress. This is probably also one of the better logical book matches that they have on the card. Will and Kyle are real buddies, and this is Kyle's time to shine on a singles match on a pay-per-view against his former best friend, kayfabe, Will Ospreay. Let's be honest, again, Will has been killing it this year, so even if Will lost this match, it wouldn't be a big upset. It wouldn't be, I mean, oh my God, you're burying Will type talk. Everybody knows that Will was willing to put over his buddy and do the right thing, which I really respect. Out of everything that Will has done, I respect that aspect. I'm not too happy about certain other things he's done, gotten on social media, picking little fights with other people in other companies. Not that. I think that's pathetic. Me personally think that is. I mean, stop worrying about other people, worry about yourself. And Will, since that point, has been worrying about himself and doing it better for the AEW company, which I respect. And I think he's going to do the job for Kyle. Yeah, I know, and everybody's saying Kyle should win. We got to push stars. Kyle is a potential good star, and I do believe it. I seal in Kyle. Kyle has had a great year, and I think this is one of the big rewards that all those things he's been doing, he's going to be doing. So I do do think Kyle Fletcher will take this one, especially after this past Dynamite, which we saw that I really do think Kyle Fletcher is going to take it, especially this past Wednesday on Dynamite, where Mark Davis got inadvertently hit with the hidden blade by Ospreay. I do nefariously, I think Mark is maybe setting up to cause the win, and maybe it'll end up with a three-way, or maybe it'll just end up Davis Callis family. Speaking of which, where the hell is Don Callis? He has been missing for almost 2-3 weeks. I think Mark Davis is gonna help cost Will Ospreay the match, give the win to Kyle Fletcher. Number 8, and I put it up this high because you know that's my boy, Swerve Strickland versus Bobby Lashley.
Punishment is the violent beating that Bobby Lashley will administer to Swerve Strickland. Actually, I feel bad for Swerve.
Bobby Lashley! I cannot believe my eyes!
You want to turn somebody down? You're going to have to fight. Bobby Lashley's not going to be afraid to use Strickland as a stepping stone.
You don't know what danger is, Swerve.
Guess who's back in business?
What do? You bring out the big guns, the big cannons.
Bobby Lashley! Full Gear. We'll see you there, kid.
Swerve Strickland is a former AEW World Champion, but the Hurt Syndicate? They're dangerous.
Swerve, there's a lesson for you to learn. There's strength in numbers.
You could ride with us, or you could collide with us. You made the choice.
You want to step to a mogul at Full Gear? You're gonna understand why. This man will always be known as the champion.
Swerve Strickland. Understand that for us, it's not personal.
We're the crackheads, make money.
It's just business.
Bruh, this has been a weird, surprising year. I guess they all like that, but this one, 2024 in wrestling, is definitely. Because if you told me at the beginning of this year, former AEW World Champion Swerve Strickland takes on, it was a debuting Bobby, but apparently Dynamite passed. Again, delayed the taping of this. I wrote out the note, but delayed the taping of this. I guess pay-per-view debuting now, Bobby Lashley. I would have said, yes, no, what? That doesn't make no sense. But here we are. Bobby Lashley is in AEW. The Hurt Syndicate is in AEW. And I believe that these guys are going to be great in the company. I think that MVP, who has a brain for the business, or at the very least knows how to promote him and his, is doing a great job. You have intrigue with who is the Hurt Syndicate going to have. Saturday night, we're going to find out. Maybe the first member or the hint of a first member. My money right now is on Leo Rush, but it's possibly also it could be that gentleman, or it could be the guy who's sitting in the tag team that's getting ready to break up, and it could be any member. But I'm hoping that at the very least we'll see one of them will make people want to tune in on what's going on with that and the story behind it. Well, yes, in the end, I think on either side or either one, it's going to be Bobby Lashley, who is the person coming in, taking the first match against Swerve Strickland. And yes, I do believe they're going to continue with the storyline and people are going to be added on both sides. There's so many different people that could be involved with this, and this definitely could be a major storyline for the company if they want it to be. It may hurt some egos. It may hurt some people who've been there for the longest and now not getting any kind of push because they got a new set of toys to play with. But honestly, if these toys are going to help things, help the numbers go up, get people in the seats, you got to go with the hot hand. You can't have them egos. Oh, no, not another ex-WWE guy. Why are they doing that? Look, you want to have wrestling? Do you want to have them still packing in, bringing people to the seats? Bobby Lashley is the guy who puts people in the seats. Like it or not, I'm the type of person he brings to the seats. Pretty sure a lot of people like me, hint, hint, are going to come and watch Bobby put out. And he's going to go take on Swerve Strickland, who is the hottest one of me's out there. So yeah, TK may have said that, but it's true. I think some of the best black wrestlers are now wrestling in AEW. And I can't wait to see this match. Delayed taping this, and before I thought I was going to go to the last match, I have a new addition apparently as of Friday. And it's funny is that they didn't even get it on their own podcast, unrestricted. They just came out and released this morning and couldn't even add this match. Because for some reason, TK decides to go ahead and promote a match. And I would feel bad if it wasn't for one of the members kind of being terrible on social media. Yep, finally, it's announced that Ricochet take on Takeshita for the international title. Why they held off so long to announce this match, I have no clue. I'm starting to think that maybe they woke up and said, hey, didn't we get all the matches in? Oh my God, we forgot to announce that Takeshita is taking on Ricochet for the international title. And just threw it on here. Well, it's on there now. And I imagine there may be a lot more matches after Rampage and the little special tonight and then tomorrow, the pay-per-view. But this has made it. Now, Ricochet has been doing a pretty good job. I know people complain that, oh, he's been main eventing Rampage, but somebody has to step up. And if Ricochet feels like he can like carry a show and be a main event, well, you got to prove it by main eventing shows, even if it means main eventing Rampage, if it means main eventing Collision, you got to main event something to prove that you can be a main eventer. So yeah, the ball is being handed to Ricochet, and we're gonna see whether or not Ricochet and Takeshita can put on a great match. I suspect this is gonna be a pretty good match, but the build was going somewhere, and then suddenly it kind of quiet off with the whole Will Ospreay coming back, and then you don't even announce it on Dynamite, like make it and just then, one angle with Dynamite, Jericho versus Ishii. Why didn't you put a big angle for Ricochet versus Takeshita on Dynamite? We're here again, the match is booked, and do I think Takeshita retains his title? No, because they hinted at what's going to happen in the Continental Classic, which I am happy to be a part of. And next Wednesday's Dynamite and Collision taping in Chicago, Takeshita is going to go into that tournament, so they're getting ready to go ahead and drop the title to Ricochet, and Ricochet is probably going to have that title for a little bit going into World's End, going into Mr. Ricochet will take the international title at Full Gear. And Takeshita will go into the Continental Classic, and you know who he's going to end up facing.
And now, he has a 2-0 career singles record against Konosuke Takeshita. He is the longest reigning world champion in AEW history. He is AEW's only Triple Crown winner. He is known as the best bout machine for a reason. Tonight, he heads to the ring in the same building that hosted the greatest of all time from North Carolina, weighing 224 pounds. He is Kenny
And that's pretty much what everybody's been hoping for, which is sad that, by the way, we haven't seen Okada for I don't know how long.
Introducing first, from Aichi, Japan, weighing 236 pounds, he is the AEW Continental Champion, the Rainmaker, Kazuchika Okada!
Even though he's aligned himself.
And now, the 10th item, 9 matches, 1 segment for the AEW belt in the bag or suitcase. You've got Jon Moxley take on Orange Cassidy.
Jon Moxley, I challenge you for the AEW World Championship.
And I had a lot of great friends who were doing incredible things. They had these goals of becoming champions or wrestling in Japan. I just never wanted any of that.
Orange Cassidy wants to be the king.
If this is the end of Orange Cassidy, if this is the moment where he finds out he never really had what it takes.
I take the symbol of this company.
I never wanted to become a champion.
And I take it out of your bag and put it in my backpack.
So Lord Baltimore and the Death Eaters are running rampant over AEW right now. They're getting control. We gotta do better with this storyline. I mean, I have so many ideas how they can improve, but I'm gonna stick with the match for now. It's the battle for either put the belt in a briefcase or take it out and put it in a bag. It's how you treat your AEW world title. You shouldn't show it at the way you guys have been going. But all jokes aside, I know John has been trying really hard to get this story to go over, but it's been so underwhelming so far. And honestly, I would have stole a page out of the Bloodline, and this would have been a renegade match against Willa Yuta versus Moxley. It should have been, with Moxley destroying Yuta and getting him fall back into line with the Death Eaters. But they had to build, or have been building up, Orange Cassidy for the last 22 to 23 with his run with the international title. So I can see now they want to put Orange in the main event scene. Orange did beat Moxley last year when he was took him on for the international title. They got to give the win back to Moxley to continue his storyline as a dominant champion. They are the alternate promotion. But in the end, I think Moxley, Lord Voldemort of the Death Eaters, he's going to retain the title because they want to somehow put it on Darby. I'm not sure why they will want to do that other than be the alternative wrestling company to do such things. I mean, but in the end, let's take Darby Allin. They get ready to put the title on him and compare him to all the other champions. TNA, WWE, all three, NXT, MLW, of all those champions, New Japan. You're going to put the belt on Darby Allin. Would you, honestly, and let's be honest, Darby Allin versus any of those champions, would you pull for Darby Allin? Would you think Darby could beat him? I don't think so either. Go ahead and do what you want to do. You're the alternative. You're going to put the title on him. You go right ahead. But just remember, you're not just quietly in the only wrestling promotion out there. And you put it on them, and they're going to clown. Real talk, they're going to clown. And they're going to look, and they're going to size it up. And maybe Darby, the Cactus Jack / Rey Mysterio of your generation, is going to win that belt. But no, I just personally wouldn't respect it. That's me personally. I think Darby's a great wrestler. I think Darby will be a great international champion, a great continental champion. But you put the title, the world title on him? Nah, bruh. I'm gonna have to keep shaking my head at you. I mean, we've had worse champions. So I'm gonna close it here. That's pretty much all the matches that have been announced at this moment. It is what it is. So boom that. There'll be no chocolate chunk chips here. Sorry. That's not my generation. Sorry. So let's see if TK can only put whatever 0-hour matches, because you know there's got to be at least 3 more. I always look at it like in these pay-per-views that Collision has been merged with the pay-per-view. So that's why you get all these matches stuck on the 0-hour and a few matches on the actual pay-per-view because they're, filling in that Collision gap. But for the most part, that is the main card. So that is my prediction. I'll see you guys later. As for now, your boy Kels, he's tapping out. See ya. Here's the real artist. She's the one who edits the video, so blame her.